options, you can look at the strengths and weaknesses of each options and see which one you want to deal with, which weakness you want to deal with. Because if you hit the strengths that you need in any situation, like, all right, I see that strength, and that strength, but I see this weakness and this weakness in this particular situation. But when I step over here to this particular situation, it's only three weaknesses. Over here, it's seven. You know what I mean? Over here, it's a strong three. I think I can fix those strong three opposed to dealing with the 7 or 11 over here issues, per situation or per household, we can say.
all I know, Key, is as long as I'm sober, because these are different. Like, I'm tagging you and I'm posting it on stage. This is me dealing what I'm dealing with in life right now is new for me because I'm sober. Every time before in my life, it was always just, let's go get a drink, and I'll just drink it away. I drink any pain, any decision, any obstacle that came in my way. It's like, I thought about this analogy today.
So,
hold on. I gotta get this one out to you. I gotta
get it out.
Like, you take somebody who's been in prison, you know what I'm saying? Like 10, 15 years. They did 10, 15 years in jail, and then they get out of prison, and they got to figure out how to live and how to walk and how to talk and how to move. And, it's uncharted territory, even though that territory might be way better for them than they had before when because they were in jail. That's how I feel with my sobriety now. I feel like, okay, now I'm making really strong strides to go to a whole nother dimension, to a whole nother level, with no obstacles in my way, but I'm still holding on. Man. So I gotta train my mind to think as if someone who has just been released from jail, because I feel like I was mentally in jail, physically in jail whenever I was abusing alcohol. If that makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It makes sense, but I haven't had a drink in a long time, and I had a drink Super Bowl Sunday.
How did it make you feel?
It felt good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I can't lie to you. The urge to have another drink is like right there.
Yeah.
Alcohol is good. I love vodka and champagne. It is a bad habit for me. So I understand what you're saying. It is very hard to stay off of that alcohol because it's like once you start.
Oh, there's no going back for me.
Man,
I know.
That's a $2,000 a month habit, man. Maybe more, man. For real. And don't let no tree be involved. We talking $4,000 a month on alcohol and drugs.
That's the truth. That's the truth, man. I know. When I got to the height of my drinking, I was spending $500 a week on alcohol and food because I wasn't drinking no cheap shit. I'd walk in there and get a Grey Goose or whatever because that's just how I roll. You know what I'm saying? That's not even the factor. I just don't. I hated the hangovers and almost dying. But
you know what tripped me up? I clown some dude. I was playing Xbox, man, and you can hear the kid in the background. It's one of the homeboys partners, and I'm a funny guy. I'm serious too. Don't play with me. But I'm a funny guy. And this one said, "Yeah, man, I'm over here sipping on my yak." I said, "Man, that cheap man. Don't nobody care about that yak, man. You act like you drinking top shelf, man. Man, we was drinking Hennessy when we were 16, 17 gallons, man. I don't do. Every time I drank a Hennessy, I found myself getting in trouble, man. I was wondering, like, what's the science behind that? How come every time I'm drinking some Hennessy, I'm put out of a club, I'm put out the venue, I'm into it with the DJ up there because of his song selection? Like,
are you stupid? You up there in the DJ booth talking about the song selection?
Like, yo, he in there, man. Somebody go get him before he get whooped. He might get shot, and he talking to the DJ like that. Like, the DJ cool with the bouncer. You know what I'm saying? And the bouncer done let a couple of his partners. He done let a couple of his partners in the venue strap. You know what I'm saying? And then you over. You know what I mean? So it's kind of bad, man. So I had quit drinking a Hennessy, but I clowned him like, bro, that's not top shelf. When I quit drinking that. I would rather drink E&J before I went and bought. Take that back. I'd rather drink Paul Masson over Hennessy and E&J because Paul Masson to me is like a sweet Kool-Aid is better. And then if I don't want Paul, I'll drink some Yay. And that was like the cycle. And then before that, it was like bumpy face gin. You know what I'm saying? Gin to make you sin. Like so, and then graduated, right? We graduated. So then we start Grey Goose to Give Me Wings. You know, the Tito's, the Moet and Chandons, the Rosés, the
bourbons,
the Bergers, the bourbons, the all the real top shelves. To me, Hennessy is not a top shelf. It is one of those drinks that you end up going to jail off of. Like for real.
I know. I had bad nights off Hennessy. I fought Big Levi off Hennessy. We were
no Hennessy.
No Hennessy. I don't even go into stories, but no Hennessy, man.
No Hennessy. And look, somebody home, somebody like, man, what you mean, man? You know what I'm saying? I drink my Hennessy, man. That's my yak. What you talking about, man? I'm gonna drink my yak.
Get in trouble. I bet you keep drinking that yak. I bet you're gonna see the judge.
Yeah.
I bet you're gonna see the judge for something.
You're like, man, the hell with him. But then when you sit there, think about it, like, damn. He might got a point because I did go upside Jacilda Head 2 weekends ago. I was turned up in this month, and the kids like, Daddy, no, and Daddy all over there on Mom because he was drinking that yak. You know, when he get his yak, he act a fool. Card game all messed up.
That's messed up.
Leave the yak alone. You know what I'm saying? Switch it up. Get some clear liquor. Man, I feel like if you drinking. If you're not drinking, but I was just talking about it because I feel your pain. But if you are drinking, start drinking some wine. It's a little bit cheaper, better results. You know,
do it in moderation. Do it in moderation. I mean,
yeah.
Like somebody like myself, I can never, and I never will. I don't have the desire to drink again. If the smell of alcohol makes me sick, you know. But that's the physical part of taking a drink is not what I struggle with.
Right.
It's the struggling with dealing with everyday life and how to handle problems because I've dealt with all my problems and issues drunk.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's some real shit, man. Like dealing with it with as we talk about mental toughness every time. On every episode, we talk about mental toughness. I go through mental toughness every single week that I don't drink because whenever I was drunk, I would just drink it away, man. Somebody, a death would happen. I drink it away. A breakup would happen. I drink it away. I lose a kid. Drink it away. Fight with baby mama. Drink it away. Now I got to face that shit in the face and I got to be the logical, smart thinking because they love to see me fall one time. You know what I'm saying? They love to see me get to drop off. The baby mamas would love it. Not all of them. My baby mama, man, we got good because I'm sober. But you know what I'm saying? That's the mental toughness that I got to go through. That I don't go upside some white dude's head because I know they're lying to me in my face whenever I come up to with an idea that could make a difference in the community. And they sit there and they lie in my face and look at me like I'm stupid. And I don't go upside somebody's head over that shit. That's why I got to go.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Me myself, man. You know, if I get to looking around and seeing if there's some cameras out there, and he might be in trouble in 2021. You might be in trouble.
I can't. You're right.
I've been coming in peace.
You are so right, man.
Peace, but please don't play with me. I go play with somebody else. I'm not playing with you.
That's exactly how I feel.
Please, I'm you, don't play with me because guess what? I'm gonna play back. I'm gonna play back. You know what I'm saying? So please, I don't want to play. I'm done playing.
I'm done. I don't want to play no games with nobody, man. And you're saying it exactly right, man. And when people play games with you and play games with your emotions and stuff like that, they don't even know what they're gonna get on the other hand. And they're so quick. And the white people that I'm talking about are so used to doing this to people that it just seems so natural when they're gonna catch a boom boom, and then they're gonna be like,
what was that?
Don't even know it. And be like, all right, let me take my little anger management classes and move along because that's all you're gonna get. But I'm tired of these people playing with me, man. I'm serious, and that's not. And everybody who knows T. Roy, and people that know Terrace, they're like, oh yeah, Terrace is so sweet. Terrace is so sweet. But people that know T. Roy know that there comes to a limit where you can't play with somebody and sit there and piss down their leg and then tell them it's raining.
You know what it is when it comes to privilege or people feeling that they privilege, they want you to do what they have in mind. it's like what you're doing is not good enough. Matter of fact, they don't even want to acknowledge how good you are. And they know you're good, right? They can know that they got the sorry mug right there that don't even work a full shift, right? They know they got the best right there. And guess what they'll do? If they'll side with the sorry mug before they side with the best.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to side with that over what you know is great, then guess what? It's two things. You're upset because you're not that. Two, you're just shallow. And you deserve a great ass whooping, is what it is. These people have never had their ass whooped, never been in a physical altercation. It's just a fact.
That's the
It's just
truth.
a fact.
But
They never had their parents didn't whoop their ass coming up. They never had their mom out there. You better whoop his ass.
Don't come back here with your
Don't
come back here until you come back with.
You better whoop him. They stand there and cheer the fight on. No. They gonna fight today. Ain't nobody ain't no jumping. Ain't nobody breaking it up. Ain't nobody calling the police. Y'all gonna fight today.
Yeah. It would eliminate a whole bunch of stuff. Because really, if we took it back to, and this wasn't just a black thing, this was like a cultural thing where I'm from in Elizabethtown. If you had beef, you went and you fist fought it out, and afterwards, I swear you're drinking a beer together and hanging out afterwards, talking about, you know what, man, that was pretty fucked up what we did to each other. But you know what I'm saying? We live to see another. Now these dudes, you give them a 2-piece, and they're gonna want it after, especially, man. I'm telling you, dog. When I was in Texas, I walked in the radio station I'm gonna be working at. And this guy said to me, why aren't you working in Cincinnati, Covington, where you live at right now? And I couldn't give him, I wanted to say, because they wouldn't even give me an opportunity. They wouldn't even give me an interview. That's what I wanted to tell him. But then I had to think about it myself. You and I consistently have put out better content in the past year and a half, 2 years, 3 years that we've been doing this than anything that they got on radio around here. Hands down, more informative, more better for the community. We talk about myged.com. We promote healthy eating. We promote, healthy lifestyles and mental toughness. And we promote one woman, one man, one monogamous relationship. The list goes on and on and on. The positivity stuff that we do in the community. And then they look at you, and then they have the ability to take what our platform and spread it out there and help more people, and just use the platform that we're working on. But instead, they'll sit there and they'll laugh at you in your face, man. It doesn't make sense to me. That's why I say I'm about hit to my wits' end of these mugs in my face, talking all this trash about, oh yeah, we want diversity and inclusion, and we want to do this and we want to do this. When I leave, in 2 years from now, I want everybody to ask themselves, what are these people doing for you? In your community. I don't care if it's the president. I don't care if it's Mitch McConnell. I don't care if it's your mayor, whoever you put your faith in to make a difference in your community. I want you in 2 years to ask what they're doing to help your situation, whether it be a good one or a bad one.
I feel like for me, how I kind of get past that, not to have that anger built up for real, not to have aggression towards anyone that's acting like that, just shallow, just trying to mess with your whole situation, trying to judge you. Man, I laugh at them, man. I actually really laugh, because I know that every day they have 15 to 25 problems. Their body is aching in certain type ways. Their mental is spinning. They're not real with anybody. They're not really even honest, even in a sentence. They lie 42 times a day. Sex life is horrible. They always have a problem. That's the thing for me. So I laugh at them, because I know they going through all that. Yeah, you may be trying to block me and say this and say that, but to me, I feel like maybe you're just a hater. Why wouldn't you share this?
Yeah.
Maybe you just upset that, it's being done by somebody you didn't think that has something like that in them. Are you upset with that? Everybody has their own talent, their own gifts in life. No one is allowed to share their gifts. I don't think we said anything crazy on this show, and if it was deemed to be crazy, then hey,
educational purposes only.
You used to watch Jerry Springer, and one thing about Jerry Springer, after the fighting and everything, you had Jerry's final thoughts. You remember that?
Jerry's final thought.
Jerry's final thought, he would dog the people on his show in their face and then get up and shake their hand. If you never paid attention, now that I'm saying this, go watch an old Jerry episode on 680 on Free TV Pluto Roku channel, 680. Go watch Jerry and watch the final thoughts. Jerry will talk about everybody on the stage, dog them in their face. After the audience then dogged them, then Jerry dogs you and then shake your hand.
Man.
Right in your face. Right? So I understand what you're saying. It happened like that, but what you have to do, like Jerry, man, he got so many different type of pains and different things going on. It really do always come back. Can you not remember a time the good never came back on you? Man, you always feel defeated right before you win.
Yeah. And at this particular moment, I don't feel defeated because I'm making a move in a better situation. What I'm going through right now is not remorse. I'm like, damn, it's like you see potential in a girl, you see potential in a female, and you really like this girl, you really like her, and you put a lot into her, and like, hey, you're kind to her, and you're sweet to her, and you're chivalrous to her, and you overlook her faults, and every time she messes up, you're like, oh, it's okay, and you just hang in there till you just be like, you know what, I'm not doing this no more. And you finally put your foot down and you're like, I'm not taking your bullshit anymore. I'm done dealing with your crap because your crap is holding me back. That's how way I feel about this move leaving Covington. I've done everything that I could possibly do as far as repping Covington as a city, as a community. And I'm not going to leave here on no bad hell's blazing like F Covington type thing. I appreciate Covington and I'm always going to say love the Cub. But I'm going to look back and I'm going to say, you had an opportunity of a lifetime, and you're going to let someone else capitalize off that. Someone else, when the smoke clears and everything happens, you're going to and someone else is going to get credit for when I've been saying for a long time, hey man, you got something really special right here in Covington that we need to bottle this up and send it out to the world. And they're sitting there like, nah, man, we don't. Whatever, dog. What we got? What programming we got?
You're black, man.
That's the damn shit. It is. It's because it's not just only because I'm black. It's because I'm black and I'm straight. Mm-hmm. I'm a straight black man. If I was a gay black man,
and you're smart. And you're smart.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to be that, buddy. You're not allowed to be smart. You're not allowed to have dreams and ideas. Here, look what we did to Martin, all that. But anywho, man.
Yeah.
Educational purposes.
I just had to get that off my chest, man, because this has been the worst thing that's ever happened to me in my life. I feel like Jonah in the lines, Jonah in the whale, in the belly of the whale, when Jesus said, or God, or your higher power said, Jonah, you need to go to Nineveh. And Jonah was like, I don't want to go to Nineveh. I don't want to go to Nineveh. And then he sucked him up in this whale, and then he spit him out and had to go to Nineveh. That's the way I feel now, because I'm like, yeah, I can be in Covington. I can be in Covington 2 weeks, and then Texas 2 weeks, and then Covington 2 weeks, and then Texas 2 weeks. And it all sounds fine and dandy, but I don't want to be here. I don't want to be walking the streets and having these same white people who look at me and could make a difference in our world, can change the world, and decide not to. It's fucking crazy, man. I just can't do it.
Maybe they need some of this, man. Mental toughness. It's a lot of people that want to be the victim all the time. It's a lot of people that need to step up.
The ability to cope with or handle pressure, stress, and adversity.
I need this.
Ability to persist when times are tough. A refusal to quit when all others give in. There's perhaps no better gift you can give yourself than to develop the strong, undefeatable mind. A strong mind brings with it a strong life. A life that can knock you down time after time because you know you are strong enough to get up every single time. That mental strength that will see you win in life more than you lose. That mental strength that your opponents fear more than anything. Because it is impossible to beat someone who never gives up.
I decide my future because I decide what I do now. No other person can decide my fate, but I can. I can because I control my mind. My mental strength is like no other. And that is why I will succeed. Not because everything will fall in my lap, but because whatever comes my way, I will make the most of. Sometimes it's not pretty. Sometimes I don't feel like it. Sometimes it all seems so far out of reach. Sometimes others doubt me. But always, I back myself. I always show my mental strength.
You know it.
Know
You
your
know it.
strengths. Know your weaknesses. Use your strengths. Work on your weaknesses. Promise yourself you will be so strong that nothing will get in the way of your mental strength.
That's why some people don't like me because of my mental strength. You can't break me with that BS. We're going to have to go through what we go through.
Stare back at you in the mirror every day. The quality of your life depends on which one you feed the most. Which one is stronger? Which one are you feeding? Only you can decide that. Only you can decide what your life is worth.
I don't care whether you are taller, more brilliant, or smarter than me, because I've got mental toughness that keeps me going when the going gets tough. The greatest battle of all time was not fought in Africa. The greatest battle of all time was not fought in America. The greatest battle was the one fought during the First and the Second World War. The greatest battle ever is the battle of the mind. The mind decides everything. The mind decides your future because it is the mind that decides what you do now. The world can imprison you. Others will try to do everything to kill you and your dream. One thing, they cannot imprison the power of your mind. Don't give up. Don't give in. Be transformed by renewing your mind. When you change your mind, you can change the world.
Right. Are we done?
Decide what I do now.
That goes right along the lines of what we were just talking about, all the way up to that video, man. That was perfect. That was like the best segue ever. Like, I don't think there was ever in the history of podcasting been a better segue than that. Because that was raw and off the cuff, off the hip, and then bam, we hit him with some knowledge. Everything we just said was backed up in that one clip.
Was that premeditated? Was that rehearsed?
No, that wasn't. That was off the hip. That was raw, true, raw emotions. And they ain't even seen the rawness yet.
And you know what? The only videos that I will watch like ahead of time is like maybe history videos. But when it comes to motivations, I do not watch those videos until I get them in here, and then boom, I don't watch. There's no reason I don't want to watch. I like the surprise of not knowing what content that I pick to put in here to run, and hopefully they don't be like, "Hey, look, we gonna ban this because y'all got this in it, that in it." You know, they tried to ban the last show because of the black information that was shown. They didn't want you to see that content. They didn't want you to. They didn't want people to see it. Man, I'm sitting there battling with them like, "Yo, this is a fair right."
Yeah, it's called shadow
banning. What are you talking about?
Shadow banning.
Man, tried it. They tried it. Hold on, let me load something up, man. Let's
shouts out to all the dudes out there that have multiple girlfriends and their shoe collections in their girlfriend's house. That's not your shoe collection, that's her shoe collection.
Her shoe collection. Shout out to you and your 6 girlfriends while living the baby mamas. You're the real MVP, homie. You know, all that. The big bad guy, man. So look, here we go. We're going to do the history of Frederick Douglass right here, man, because his birthday is February the 14th. Everybody out here celebrating Valentine's Day. They got the Super Bowl. They got so many roadblocks in February because they don't want you to think about Abraham Lincoln and the Emancipation Proclamation. They don't want you to think or know about Frederick Douglass. They want you out here arguing with them so they can call the police on you. Like, look, that's the angry black guy. I'm going to wait for my moment. You know how we discussed that in previous shows? They really do sit and wait for their moment and try to make it believable. And they be some of the sorriest workers, some of the sorriest people ever, for real, when it comes down to it, when it comes to race relations and communication with other people. They are some of the sorriest. How do you back that? How do you side with that? It's because they don't want you to see certain things. They don't want certain things to happen. They have to, like we always say, white side with white, man. White privilege, man. But you're going to learn today that it's more than white privilege out here. You're going to learn that February 14th, the real important reason to that is this man's birthday right here. Why you out here buying candies and she expect to be in a hotel with flowers all over the bed and this, that, and the third and blah, blah, blah. You don't even know your history. You ain't even celebrating your race right. So now
Douglass becomes a symbol of the liberation of slaves in the country.
Oh, Al Sharpton. Uncle Al Sharpton.
Frederick Douglass, born a slave, that somehow has the audacity and drive to run away from slavery and decides to become a leader against slavery. So not only does he have the mental capacity to see himself free, he has the audacity to say, I can speak for the slaves better than the abolitionists that speak on our behalf and don't understand our pain.
Frederick Douglass is important to America because, unlike most enslaved people in America, he actually makes it out of slavery, is able to tell his story.
Yeah, I mean,
is able to actually become an agent for change.
It's a killer, though.
In the Black community, in America in general.
Look, we going back to back on these videos.
Frederick
No,
Douglass,
we got to stop between this one.
and with
Okay.
the breadth of this country,
Just for quick.
leading abolitionist that made the issue of slavery a paramount issue through his editing newspapers, through his ceaseless travels and lectures. He helped to make it a real movement that by the time Abe Lincoln is running against Douglass, it is a national discussion. It would not have happened if you didn't have a spokesperson that worked as tirelessly as Frederick Douglass did.
Douglass is someone who is known in this country. He travels to England. He's an international figure. So he's important because he can tell you about slavery, the institution of slavery, because he lived it. And he can speak about that time period. He can tell you about escaping to freedom, and he can tell you about the free world. He bridges gaps. He's a part of transformation of America at this pivotal moment. And it's someone who, as I said, who begins under the cover of slavery and then ends outside of that.
Man, just that little bit of elementary school education logic right there is the most backwardest shit you'll ever hear in your life. This is how dumb white supremacy is. They have to get, and they say Frederick Douglass was able to articulate better than the abolitionists were that slavery was wrong because he was a slave. Are you kidding me? I mean, seriously. White privilege and white supremacy is so deep and so inherited that they have to rationalize listening to a slave to tell them why slavery is not good. They are still trying to say, well, we're going to tell you how slavery was. Even though you went through it, you escaped from slavery into freedom, but we're going to tell you how that feels. That's how deep white supremacy is. When people start talking about, white supremacy doesn't exist, that's how deep it is. What am I saying makes sense?
That's why I got two different videos. So I'm glad you point that out about the History Channel. Now, here go the other one. Let's go to the next one. This one is through bio. All right. Somebody always tells the truth. Somebody always lies. All right.
Douglass's life sort of stands across the expanse of the 19th century as a symbol of the worst and the best in the American character. He was the slave who saw most of the worst brutalities of slavery. He was the slave, however, who freed himself and by luck, pluck, and gifts remade himself. Most importantly, he had an enormous ability to capture in words the meaning of what America is about.
I have no accurate knowledge of my age, never having seen any authentic record containing it. By far the larger part of the slaves know as little of their ages as horses know of theirs, and it is the wish of most masters within my knowledge to keep their slaves thus ignorant. I do not remember to have ever met a slave who could tell of his birthday. Frederick Douglass, 1845.
It was along the eastern shore of Maryland near a quiet creek called the Tuckahoe that the life of the man who would inspire a nation began.
Frederick Douglass was born in Talbot County on Maryland's eastern shore. He wasn't certain of his birth himself. In fact, he thought that he had been born in 1817.
But slave records tell of the birth of Frederick Augustus to a slave named Harriet in February 1818.
He knew who his mother was, although she was a distant figure in his life. She lived on another plantation. He never really knew who his father was, although he came to believe that his father was definitely a white man and probably his master.
Raised by his grandmother at the far end of the plantation, the tiny boy named Frederick led a carefree, playful life along the muddy shores of the Tuckahoe until he was 6.
At about age 6, Douglass found that his childhood had come to an abrupt end. He was assigned to act as the companion and caretaker of the child of the owner of the plantation. And as a result, he could get in trouble for things that he either had done or had failed to do. And so it became immediately apparent that he was no longer a child, but was a slave and was part of that institution of slavery.
So,
Yeah.
tells two different stories. I just don't. I
Yeah.
mean, the first one pissed me off. First of all, seeing Al Sharpton, he does not speak for me or any of my ideologies. I don't. I think Al Sharpton,
He just got a good tone of voice.
But okay, but we're talking about the Frederick Douglass. The same thing is happening today. Just take Chicago for instance. White people are meeting with other white people to try to see how we can police and how to deal with things that are going on within the black community. See where there's a problem. That's common sense. And then they say like, well, oh, we gave you a black president. That didn't work. Then they say, well, we give you Kamala. That's not going to work either unless you get real people in there that are dealing with real black issues. I mean, because they're saying the whole country, pretty soon, the browning of the country. And then you got Biden saying, well, black people, y'all better start getting along with the Mexicans because he's going to have all those immigrants coming in here. Not to say it's a bad thing or anything. I'm just saying it's real talk. You know, and where do black people fit in?
I don't think he's going to flood it with Mexicans. I see more Asians coming in.
I don't know.
They're gonna throw Asians in the mix, man. More Asians, man. We got a nice amount of Mexicans already, so it's time for something else. So maybe they add some of those Afghanistan ladies over here too as well. You don't know what's up under those outfits.
But that's all cool. Bring whoever you want to bring, but don't forget about black people, man. We've been getting shit on for the past since we built this country. Black people we don't need to get left out whenever we rebuild the country again. We don't need to be the last. We don't need to be the worst health care, the worst everything, worst no business loans, redlining, all the kind of stuff that goes on right here in Kentucky. We need to fix that shit. or we're gonna end up right back here again. And I don't think every time that it happens, it just gets worse, and it gets more worse and worse.
Yeah,
and worse.
that's why, man. I learned, man. Have friends that work at the news station, man. You know, you got to start taking this stuff to the news, man. People don't think you'll go to the news, and believe it or not, the news love it, and the news will investigate on the low and record and find out that, hey, look, he's telling the truth. It's a fact. I talked to 75 people. They all say the same thing. Why is this allowed to go on? We need to do something about it. And that's what it is, man. A lot of people don't take action. They just be like, wow, and just take it and go sit in the corner somewhere and accept what happened. Then you have those type people like me. You know, no. Oh, that's what you did to me? Okay, it's like chess, right? Yeah. You made your move, bow. Oh, you want to play, right? Well, guess what? The game isn't finished. Checkmate. You see? Because that's once they've made they play, and they have to put they all into their play. You see what I'm saying? So once somebody make they play on you and put they all into their play, now you looking at they play and they wondering like, oh, what is he gonna do? You see what I'm saying? Because if you ain't out there screaming, la, 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 King Kong, I'm gonna burn this mother, you know, all that. If you're not doing all that and you sit back and be like, all right, and then you look at your plan from a strategic standpoint, it's all good.
Pull a Stacey Abrams on them. That's what you do. You pull a Stacey Abrams. You say, oh, you gonna cheat on me? You gonna cheat me? You're gonna cheat me? You're gonna do me dirty?
Yeah.
Let me show you something. Let me show you how to do it.
Yeah, I'm gonna see you in a minute. But I'll tell you what though, something that I would have went to jail for is this right here. All right. If I was that little boy, she would have caught an ultra combo. Like the video.
I haven't seen this one. I don't think
video game Killer Instinct. That lady would have got hit with a 64-piece combo. They would have had to pull me off of her if she spit in my face.
Oh, the white lady. Okay, I got you. Okay.
Karens in the wild.
Under arrest after it was seen spitting into a protester's face. It all happened Saturday as the demonstration was just ending.
Fox 6's Ashley Sears is live to explain that she's been arrested again, Ashley?
Ted, police say she not only became physical with a protester outside of her home today, but she also kneed an arresting officer in the groin. As a peaceful protest was wrapping up Saturday, the crowd was confronted by a woman. Witnesses say Stephanie Rapkin parked her car in the middle of the intersection outside of the Metro Market on Oakland Avenue in Shorewood, blocking the group.
She just kept saying we're inconvenienced, that she has to go to the store.
Caress Gonzalez pulled out her phone. Rapkin ignores people as they urge her to get back in her vehicle. Rather than turning away, she's seen spitting in a young man's face.
That's disgusting. Like, you don't do that as, like, no normal human being would do that.
Later that night, the 64-year-old woman was arrested at her home.
There had to be some accountability, and it couldn't be quiet.
Shavonda Sisson was part of a group that filmed the arrest.
She didn't choose to spit on a white person. She waited until a black child was in front of her to spit right in his face.
A day later, Rapkin was out of custody and back in her Shorewood home. People drew with sidewalk chalk, pointing out who she was. Witnesses say she shoved some of those people to the ground and was arrested again. An ugly confrontation that keeps getting worse.
There is no easy escape from this. She will be held accountable.
Rapkin is being...
Well, Karens. Did you freeze up? Oh, no, you didn't freeze up, man. Them Karens, man.
Man, she spit in that boy's face like, Puh! I would have been in trouble. She might have got knocked out at the protest. She might have caught a 2-piece. For real. Sorry about that, Grandma. 64 or not, she might have caught a 2-piece.
No comment. I can't even comment on that.
Educational purposes. She spit all the way in his face. And that takes us to our next topic, which is white privilege. Don't get me wrong. It's all fun and games till the gloves is off. But we're gonna do this. I'm gonna learn you on white privilege, and you'll see why that lady just spit in that boy's face for nothing. It is a such thing. It's a mindset.
White privilege.
It's a mindset. It's
What?
real.
What is white privilege? Before we discuss it, let's talk about how people respond to it. Some people dismiss it. Others become upset. White individuals may respond by saying, "Hey, that's not me. I don't have privilege just because I'm white." Others might say, "Heck yeah, white privilege exists." The fact is that there has been systematic rights and unearned privileges that groups of people have enjoyed, such as the rights and privileges through Jim Crow laws. Starting in 1890 and lasting until the passing of the Civil Rights Act in 1964, separate but equal enforced segregation. Of course, not much was equal. Inequality existed in facilities like public bathrooms or schools, with those facilities for non-whites being inferior in quality. At the same time, bank loans and housing practices also contributed. For example, with the help of the Federal Housing Administration, areas of cities were mapped to indicate which areas were denied or approved housing loans. Those that were deemed the highest risk and often denied loans were inner city areas populated by African Americans. This practice was called redlining, and over time taught people how to perceive and feel about people based on the color of their skin. There are still lasting effects of those privileges today. So, while a person who identifies as white may not feel that they have privileges based on the color of their skin, white individuals today benefit from a system that perpetuated inequality long before their time.
I'ma learn you.
Now that we know it's hard to discuss, what is white privilege? This is a term that has been widely discussed in the 20th century and became popular in academic circles when Peggy McIntosh wrote her article on male and white privilege in 1988. In this article, McIntosh discusses the concept of white privilege and lists 46 different ways that she benefits from being white. According to McIntosh, she has come to see white privilege as an invisible package of unearned assets that I can count on cashing in each day, but about which I was meant to remain oblivious. White privilege is like an invisible, weightless knapsack of special provisions, assurances, tools, maps, guides, code books, passports, visas, clothes, compass, emergency gear, and blank checks. If a person is not white, these unearned privileges cannot be counted on. Among her examples are instances such as stepping up in a challenging situation and not having to be a credit to her race, or being pretty certain that her skin color will be fairly close to the color of a flesh-colored Band-Aid. Recent research shows that white privilege may be a hard pill to swallow for those that identify as white. A study at Stanford University shows that white individuals cite personal hardships to help maintain a positive image of themselves and perhaps to enjoy the material benefits associated with that privilege. In other words, white individuals do not see how they may benefit from society socially constructing race. I know that as a white individual, when I walk down a street and someone does not say hi to me, I don't have to wonder if it's because of the color of my skin. Or I know that when I'm buying items such as soap or shampoo at a big box store, that there will be a full aisle of products to meet any of my skin and hair needs. And while anyone's life may have hardships, I don't wonder if my hardships are compounded by the color of my skin. So, what is your response to white privilege? If you identify as white, do you dismiss it as a socially constructed reality, stating you don't experience any benefits or privileges? Do you feel angry? And what if you don't identify as white? Do you dismiss white privilege? Are there ways society is set up to benefit or harm people based on the color of their skin? And what are the lasting effects of systems that intentionally, by law, benefited or punished people based on their skin color?
That's beautifully articulated and everything. And you know what like when people know, honestly, when people see that, like white people see that, they'll be like, they don't got nothing to do with me. They'll say after they've articulated how Jim Crow lasted for as 90 years, from 1800 to civil rights in 1968. There's still like separate bathrooms, separate education, and systemic racism. And then in the 90s, whenever they brought in the drugs and putting the black men in prison and breaking up the black family and prison the pipeline, and you break all that down to some white people and they'll be like, what does that have to do with me?
Because that's your underlying programming. So let it be a white person with that type of mindset. And you got people with that type of mindset that you got to work with or deal with. It's going to be bad for you if you black. It can turn out to be bad for you.
Yeah. Until the time, I mean, the tide is turning
They're
really
not going to fight for you because they're not going to fight for you.
But that's here in Kentucky. I've been to a place. I've been to freedom. That's why I'm going to Texas. I'm going to freedom. I feel like a runaway slave. I swear to God, when I'm here, I feel like I can't pursue my happiness. I got to watch out where I go, or I'm going to be. You got to make sure you got to do this and that and this and this. When I'm in Texas, people are moving around. There's other black people making decisions. There's other black people that are in control of your finances. You can go to a bank and you got black assistant managers and presidents and real estate presidents and mortgage people who are black who ain't trying to do you dirty.
They're willing to give you a shot. Well, you know what? I got something that'll kind of make the mood better, man. I got the ultimate grilled cheese hack here, man. And who don't love a good grilled cheese, huh? We always got some type of food going on, right?
Cheese sandwiches as kids and never really stop. While memories of the sandwich probably recall thickly buttered bread and your trusty skillet, it turns out you should actually be using your air fryer. It may sound like blasphemy to grilled cheese traditionalists,
I got that air fryer right there too.
Have you ever tried making grilled cheese only to have the bread turn soft, oily, and totally not crispy? Or have you ever started toasting your sandwich in the skillet only to have it somehow burn before the cheese inside is melted? That might be the butter's fault. The sizzling milk, fat, and butter is what fries your bread to a crisp, but things can go wrong if the temperature is too low. And if the temperature is too high, the butter can burn. If you don't use enough butter, your sandwich might not get crisp. And if you use too much, it could taste oily, according to Bon Appetit. Who knew there were so many potentially bad outcomes to a basic grilled cheese?
Dad?
Yeah.
Well, this is cold and the cheese isn't hardly melted down.
Thus, you should look to your air fryer. Air fryers cook your food by whipping super hot air around your ingredients at high speeds. You only need a tiny bit of butter to crisp up your bread when you use the air fryer. And since your bread isn't sitting directly in the puddle of butter in the air fryer's basket like it would be in a skillet, the whole sandwich cooks more evenly via new air. You get the delicious butter flavor without all the culinary drama. No soggy beige bread, no random burn spots. By the time the cheese is gooey and melted, the bread is evenly golden brown and perfectly crisp. Making air fryer grilled cheese is simple. Preheat your air fryer and sparingly butter one side each of 2 slices of bread. Put a slice or 2 of your favorite cheese between them, then place the sandwich in your air fryer. Cook for about 10 minutes until golden and crispy outside, flipping once after the first 7, via my recipes. But Vegetarian Mama reminds you to make sure not to use too much butter, or things could get smoky. But if you don't have access to an air fryer, there are a few things you can do to turn out a better than decent grilled cheese sandwich with the basics like a toaster. Bustle recommends you toast both sides of the bread you intend to grill, or throw it into the panini maker to give your sandwich more of a snap. Another top tip for a grilled cheese sandwich you'd stake your reputation on involves shredding the cheese you plan to use, especially if it comes in a block, because shredding gives your cheese the chance to melt more quickly and evenly. While you might be tempted to stuff your sandwich with an old cheese friend, like a good old Kraft single, there's no reason why you can't tap the cheesemonger for his thoughts on other cheeses that you might add to create your own multi-cheese blend. If you're really feeling adventurous, adding slices of fresh fruit like apples and avocados, or veggies like broccoli and spinach will go a long way in turning this childhood classic into an instant adult favorite. If you've got some grated Parmesan to add to the sandwich, you might consider adding it to the outside to give it a bit of a crunch. To do this, brush melted butter on the outside surfaces of your sandwich, sprinkle on the Parmesan, then toss down a slice of bread onto the pan, cheese side down. According to Brit Plus Co., you can build your grilled cheese sandwich and cover the fillings with a second slice of bread that's been coated with butter and Parmesan. Flip when the bottom has been cooked and crisped. Eat This, Not That explains that the best part about adding Parmesan on the outside is that you get to enjoy an additional bite of cheese. But you also avoid loading your sandwich down with filling, which could keep the cheese from cooking through. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more MASH videos about food hacks are coming soon.
If you, they said something about if you don't have an air fryer for something, you can substitute something for an air fryer. Let me tell you, if you don't got an air fryer, only thing you can substitute for getting one, you just go to the store and get one. It's $50. It's the best $50 you ever spent in your life, and the food cooks all the way evenly through. I just can't say enough about the air fryer. I love my air fryer. It's changed my life.
I had to show that. Everybody loved grilled cheese, man.
Yeah.
Like, oh my goodness, man. And look, I got 2 different air fryers, so that's just perfect. Throw that mug in the air fryer. Oh my goodness. We
What
talk.
do you think they do with the apple? He said you use an apple. What would you do with apple with the grilled cheese? I've never had.
Oh, so you just take and slice it and put it on your grilled cheese.
So I've never had an apple grilled. I never had apple grilled cheese, man. That's something I
Man, it might
peanut butter.
It might taste good. I don't know. I don't know. Me, I'm just traditional. Just give me, but I've added different veggies to my grilled cheese before.
Yeah. Like
I've
lettuce.
added fajita mix to my grilled cheese before. I've done the spinach before. I've even added the egg to it before. It's like a egg and cheese grilled cheese. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you can do different things. And if you got a panini maker, that's what they were saying. If you don't have an air fryer, the panini maker or the sandwich maker, those sandwich makers are really good. The little small ones.
Yeah,
you put it in there and they cut it in half for you. Those are really good too.
I bet George Foreman grill. I bet if you put it on a George Foreman grill, that would probably look good too.
I don't know, man. I've had a lot of George Foreman grills that I threw away. I don't even. Yeah. And after I threw them away, I had the big one, the small one. I never went back and got another one.
But when they first came out, though, man, you couldn't tell me nothing when I had the big George Foreman grill and take the burgers and put the turkey burgers on there, man. That was the shit.
I mean, it cooking everything, but it's like,
Now it's like, yeah.
But now that I think about it, that was a nice little setup. We got a mango strawberry here, man. For you and the kids.
Channel Cooking with Freddie, where happiness is homemade. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Before you start blending, but I have forgot, so that's why I'm adding it now. All right, and now we're done blending, and look at how thick that is, how beautiful that is.
That's just the mangoes and the strawberry.
I didn't add no alcohol to this yet because I told you I'm also making a kid version. So I'm just going to take some of it out and put it in another container that's alcohol free and that I can give to the kids. Then I'm going to put the blender back on the blender thingy majigga
This looks
so
really
that
good
I
too,
can
man.
add the alcohol and make it the adult version. I'm going to go ahead and add some tequila, about 2 shots of tequila. You can add how much you want, and you don't have to add tequila, but I love tequila.
But
so that's
hey,
why I'm
they got the
tequila.
alcohol-free
And I
version
also
too.
added
So we're
1
gonna
more
show
cup of ice, and then we're ready to blend. All right, and that's done. Beautiful. And I'm just going to put it in another container and put it in the freezer. The kids one also, make sure we keep them in the freezer so they can be cold as we work on our second mixture. All right, then I washed the blender, and now I'm adding some strawberries. I added about, I want to say, 3 handfuls of strawberries, and I'm going to add 3 cups of ice, and then I'm going to add some grenadine.
And this how easy it is. I had to show this because people in the house, ain't nobody going to the bar for real.
We snowed in down here 10 inches.
All right, and I have this Jose Cuervo mixture that I wanted to add in there. It does have alcohol in it, so this will only be for the adults. So I went ahead and added some of that in there. And then I'm going to add some lemon juice. After I'm done adding the lemon juice, I'm going to add the tequila, and I'm going to add about 2 to 3 shots of tequila. You can add how much you want, remember that, but don't add too much because you will mess up the mixture. It will be too watery. All right, then we're ready to blend. Let that blend, yes, and let's see how that looks. Beautiful, yes. And now what I'm going to do is put that in another container and put it in the freezer because that was for the adults.
This looks
now
really
I'm making
good.
the kids version. I'm just going to go ahead and add some strawberries like I did before, and I'm going to add about 2 handfuls of strawberries, and I added about 3 cups of ice, I want to say,
making these drinks.
and then I'm going to add some juice to it.
It'll look real nice in your cup that you're carrying around. Like, oh, what are you drinking?
Juice. And you could, if you wanted to make the adult version like this, you wanted to add that and then just add the alcohol, you can as well. Okay, if you don't have the Havo Quavo and you just have the fruit punch and you don't want to spend that extra money, that'll work just as fine. All right, now I'm ready to blend. And to me, it was too thick. It wasn't blending all the way. So I went ahead and added a little bit more in there. For the kids one, I like it to be a little more thick than the adults because they don't really like to drink it. They like to eat it as if it's a sorbet. All right, so here we go. And look how thick and beautiful that is. That's all done. And that's the kids. And now we're ready to go ahead and start assembling them. The kids one is done. I already did one side of mango and one side of strawberry. Now I'm doing the adult one. And I'm just going ahead and add that mango. We had a little mess, cleaned it up. And then we're going to do the other one. I would recommend you put this with a spoon. Do like add it until it's all filled up. Just keep adding it with the spoon because when you do it the way I did it and you just pour it, you're more likely to get a little mess. And just in case you don't want to clean up a little mess, then just do it with the spoon. But I didn't mind. I just wanted to go ahead and just pour it like that. I didn't mind. It's just not that much of a mess. You might have like a little spill. It's not that serious, okay? All right, now I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit of the strawberry on the top of the mango. And look how beautiful those drinks are. Oh my God, they are just beautiful. Now for the garnish, I'm gonna go ahead and add some mango slices that I had, and I'm going to add some strawberries on each one. And there we have it, strawberry mango daiquiri, a kid's version and the adult version.
She did that. She did that. She did that one.
Man, you see how cool that is? It's like local and abroad, man. You see how that is a cool drink. And when you think about it, like that's pretty cheap. That's cheaper than your soda. That's cheaper than your Crystal Light. And of course, healthier. So I'm like, you know what? This has to be seen. And if you drink alcohol, you can add alcohol. If you don't, it's just a great fruity beverage, man. And either way it go, you're still getting your water and you're getting some fruit. You can't beat
the alcohol in there, man. That would be a good combination. That Jose Cuervo with that tequila. So I mean, the margarita. It looked like it was margarita mix, like the Jose Cuervo margarita mix. I don't know.
Go knock your top off. So look, this is our last video for tonight. And
we did good. We did good. We stay right on time, man. We are getting pretty damn good at this.
This is how to double your money.
Hey, I like
comes to your money. You want your money to work for you, right? And in a perfect situation, you'd have some money, you'd put it somewhere, and then you take it out a few years later and you have more coming out than what you put in. That is called investing. And that is my hope for you when it comes to your money. But the best way for that to happen is through compound interest. So compound interest, very simply, is you put in $100 and let's say you make 10% on that. Okay, so that's $110. So now the next year, if you make 10% on that again, you're not making 10% on 100 that you put in. You're making 10% on the 110. As the years go on, this money is going to grow and you're going to keep earning interest on the big amount of money. And what happens? It just grows and explodes into this beautiful pile of money. It's fantastic. So compound interest is ideal. Now, the best way to get that when it comes to your retirement planning are two ways. Number one is an IRA. So this is basically a savings account for retirement, if you will. Now, beyond that is really what I'm talking about is the Roth IRA. So what Roth means is that you're putting money into your IRA after you pay taxes on it. The benefit of this, number one, is that it grows tax-free. Because number two, when you take that money out, you don't have to pay taxes on it. You've already paid taxes on the money you put in, so you're not paying taxes on the money taken out. It's a beautiful thing. So Roth IRA, a great place to look into retirement investing for that compound interest. Also a 401k. This is usually through your employer. If you work at a nonprofit,
I'm gonna learn you.
So the traditional 401k, you're putting money in that before you pay taxes, which means your income of what you're taxed on is actually lowered. So you're getting taxed on a lower income because you've already put money into the 401k. So 401k is great. Companies actually sometimes will match that. So if you put in 3%, they match you 3% or whatever their match is. And so this is a way for your money to grow. There's also Roth 401ks, some companies, which is great because like the Roth IRA that we talked about, you put money in after you've paid taxes, so it grows tax-free, all of that. Not all employers offer that, but if they do, take advantage of that one. So when it comes to retirement and looking at these investments, always take your match first, do the 401k, and then fund your Roth IRA. Now, we suggest funding 15% of your income into retirement. So if you have 15% of your income that's not been funded in the traditional match of the 401k and the amount you put into your Roth IRA, then invest more. But most people, that's your baseline. That's what you're going to do. And your money is going to grow. And it's going to be awesome. So make sure to check out Chris Hogan. He's like the god when it comes to retirement. He's amazing. And so check out his website, chrishogan360.com. And he has a great tool on there called the RIQ, the Retired Inspired Quotient. And what you can do is put in all of your numbers, like your income, how much you have saved already, and then when you want to retire, how much you want to live on, all the stuff. And it just, you click a button and this magic number appears of how much you should be contributing to your retirement per month. And it's just this great picture of where you are. So make sure to check out that tool because it really will help you in the future. So
that's dope, man. Who else is doing that, Key? Who else is in our community? Who else is putting out the content that we're putting out? We're promoting healthy eating, GED.com. We're promoting healthy relationships, mental toughness. Now we're getting into the retirement and saving aspect of the game, financial literacy aspect of the game. Who's doing that? That's what I'm saying, man. That's just, people don't realize what's going on right there in their face, We say, hey, boom, drop a little history, some little Black history on them, some truth, not no sugar-coated ass bullshit.
Soon as the mug get a big sponsorship or something like that, then here they come. You should share it now. You should share this now. You shouldn't be against it. You should be with it. It's all love, you know. I'm sorry I apologize to anybody that that we ever had to stomp out back in the day. Anybody we ever did anything, made you feel some type of way, if I had your girl first, hey man, look, I'm sorry, it's just life, you know what I'm saying? It's okay. To me, it's just sex in my head. I don't give a damn. It's just that, So I apologize wholeheartedly. I hope you okay. I hope you doing well. If you got problems, leave your problems where they at. Don't bring them over here. I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to help you see. Let the truth be your light. Matter of fact, shout out to my Fatter Warner 6-2, 7-3, 8-4, 9-5, 11-7. Gia, get money. I'm trying to get mines, but real quick, bump the fakes, the snakes, the jakes, the 12s. If you get caught up, you probably gonna tell.
Yo, man. Yo. The financial literacy piece that you were going to talk about too. Everybody that listens to us, get you some life insurance. It's not that much. It's like $100 a month at the most. I'm talking about get you $500,000 worth of life insurance.
We all need to do it. Let me tell you why. And then I'm getting off of here because we over. But look, get life insurance. The reason why a lot of people be like, oh man, the white people this, the white people that. Okay, take a page out of Karen's and Ken's book. What they do is they take insurance out on everybody that's older in the family. So if somebody older in the family passes, it's like playing Monopoly, pass and go. You collect 200. That $250,000 policy is probably going to run you about 114 a month. Okay. But if the person that's, they with it, like, yeah, I want this to help the future of the family, and they thinking that going to the grave, it's nothing wrong with that. And a lot of families fall out over deaths and all that. You need to plan these deaths out and reap the benefits of that, like they've been doing over years. They got you programmed in your head to think that it's wrong to do that and think it's wrong to do this and do that. And guess what? The people that don't believe that it's wrong, they are profiting and they looking at you laughing. Ha 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 ha. You better do all your baby powder. If I decide not to sell sugar today, no one will have sugar all over the world.
Yep. I mean, shoot, when the pandemic happened, that's the first thing I did. I upped my life insurance. I was like, if I go out, my kids are not going to have to worry. They're not going to have no GoFundMe to bury me. They're going to be able to go, hey, my dad left us enough to do whatever we need to do. And I would just suggest that for other people to do out there too. I mean, it's not that expensive.
Because I'm tired of seeing these GoFundMes, and a lot of them GoFundMes be dolphins trying to get money for be some legitimate. Most of them be dolphins trying to get money, and they act like they're gonna bury the people, and then they turn around and cremate them or something to go smoke the money up.
You stupid.
You know what I mean? Let me ever donate to a GoFundMe. That's what happened. We gonna pull up. We pulling up on you with the cameras and get you a great one on YouTube, baby. You going viral. Hey man, but I'm out of here, man. Hey, if they won't tell you, I will. I love you. I love you. I love you. Show some love, feel some love, y'all.